Okay, for this project I'm using a size J. It's a 6mm crochet hook, and I'm using Red Heart Super Saver 4-ply worsted weight acrylic. Okay, for this backpack I'm going to be making different size of squares like this, and they'll be patched together. And I'm going to put little circles on them to make them look like Legos. So, I'm going to start with this first long one right here. I'll tell you the numbers for each square, and I'll write it on the screen too, and how many patches you need of each. So the biggest patch that we're going to, this one right here, you need to start with a chain of 30, just like this. They're real easy to make. It is a little time consuming maybe, but once you get your chain of 30 made, what you want to do is single crochet in the second stitch from the hook, and we never count the one that's on our hook. And then we're going to single crochet in every stitch across the length of the chain. Just one in every stitch. Okay, when you get to the end of your chain, single crochet in the last stitch, and all you want to do is chain 1, turn your work, and then we're going to go across again, doing 1 single crochet in each stitch. Chain 1, and we're going to go into the next stitch. So that chain 1 is actually counting as a single crochet, so we don't want to go directly into the stitch right below it. But the next one, and then you just want to go across again with 1 single crochet in each stitch, and we're just going to continue doing rows of single crochet. That's all pretty much this, most of this bag is going to be a single crochet. And you just go into the last stitch and make sure it's going to be the turn chain that you go into. Chain 1 and turn and go across again. Now we want to do this for a total of 15 rows, 15 of single crochet. Just keep going back and forth, and then it'll end up like this, and then you can tie off the one that I'm making. And then what we need to do is the same concept with these smaller ones like this. Be sewed together, kind of like Lego blocks. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go through the squares that you'll need and the numbers of each one. Like I said, I'll write it on the screen too. But okay, these big ones, you're going to need 3 of them, and they are, start with a chain of 30 and then do 15 rows, 3 of them. And then these square ones start with a chain of 16, and then you do 15 rows, 2 of them. And these little ones right here are the sides, and they are shot with a chain of 10, and then you do 24 rows, and you're going to need 4 of the sides, and then 1 across the bottom, which is a chain of 10 and 30 rows tall. And then after that, you're going to need 1 big piece for the back, which I did, and it's just rows of single crochet. And you start with a chain of 30, just like we did for the big ones. But I did 46 rows tall. So it was 30 crossed, single crochet rows, 46 tall. And that's the back piece. And then you got the 4 sides and the bottom, and then our front is right here, and one of these big ones are going to be the flap. So once you get your squares made, I got one here that I still need to, I'll show you how to put the circles on them, the little Lego circles. But first what you want to do is outline every piece like I did. I'm outlining it in black, but if you want to do it the same color, we're just going to do rows of single crochet around the whole thing. So you can do it whatever color you want. So I'm just going to start up here, and I got a slip knot on my hook. I'm going to go through any stitch and the slip knot on my hook. Okay, now to start, I'm going to go through the same stitch that I just started in and do a single crochet, and then I'm going to work across, put in 1 single crochet in every stitch. Just like this. And then when I get to the corner though, I want to do a single crochet in the corner, a chain 2, and then another single crochet in the same spot. That way it gives a little bit of a corner on it. And then I'm just going to work down again, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch, and I want to do this all the way around. Back to the beginning. Just like this. And I'm coming to the corner again, and I just want to do the same thing in every corner. Oh, some of these stitches are hard to get into. Okay, in the corner you want to do a single crochet, a chain 2, and then another single crochet, and then just keep working across. And just complete this all the way back to the beginning, doing the single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in all 4 corners. And then when you get back to the beginning, you just want to slip stitch into the beginning single crochet, and then tie off and hide your tail. You went around the whole piece. Now we're going to need to make these circles to make it look like Legos, and they're really easy to make too. This whole bag's really easy. It's just a little time consuming. It did take me a little while to do it, but what you want to do is we'll make the little circles. I want to start with a little bit of a longer tail because this tail is what I'm going to use to sew them on with. So leave yourself 12 or 18 inches or so. and then make a slip knot. And then you want to do a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. And slip stitch into the first one to form a ring. And then we're going to do a chain 3. And that chain 3 is going to count as a double crochet. So now we want to go back through the center of the circle and do 11 more double crochets. So when we add that chain 3, we'll have a total of 12 double crochets all the way around the ring. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Pull them over if you need to. 10, 11, one more, and there's 12 double crochets around the ring. Now you want to slip stitch into the top of the first chain 3. Slip stitch into that, and that will close that round off. And then if you pull your tail really tight, it'll make that circle smaller in the center. Close it up. Now you want to chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to go around each one of these double crochets and do a double crochet in each stitch. So go around, and it's 1 double crochet in each stitch. Counting that chain 3, you should have 12 double crochets at the end. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and you want to make it right side out like that, and then slip stitch into the beginning, the chain 3, the top of it. Maybe, okay. And then pull up and tie off. You don't have to have a really big tail. I just put a little knot in it like this, and then flatten it out, and then I'll just tuck this shorter tail. I'll cut this a little bit shorter, and I'll just tuck it inside here. That way I don't have to weave it in like that. And then we'll sew it on. I already have another one made here onto our piece. Now this is one of my side pieces, and the side pieces, we had 4 total. I just put 2 of these circles on each one. You actually can do however you want to do it. And the bottom piece has 3 circles. And then there's 4 on these 2 little squares that I made. And then there's 6 circles on each of the big ones. I probably should have put 8 on them, but I'm not going to redo it, so. But you do it however you want. Now to sew them on, I just get a couple pins, and I kind of just put them where I want them. It's kind of even. Pin them down. Like that. And then I'm going to take my yarn needle and put that long tail that we had on the needle. And I'm just going to go around sewing it up on these bottom stitches. So I'm just going to go right through like that. And I'm just going to work my way around, back up from the bottom, and grab a stitch. And go back. If you can see which stitches I'm grabbing, it's this bottom row right here. Pull it through. And I'm just going right back through, up through the next one. Once you get it on a little bit, you can take that pin out. And then just keep going around it the same way. Until you get back to the beginning where you started and it's all sewed on, and then you can just weave your tail in the back. So I'll just flip it over, weave my tail in a couple times. Flip it off, and I'll just go ahead and do the other one. Make sure it's still about where I want it. Now let's go around. Pin out. Okay, now I'm just going to keep going around. You want to make sure you get these little circles on every piece to make it look like a Lego. Except for the big back piece, I didn't put anything on the big back piece. Now, I mean, it's up to you. It's your bag. If you wanted to make these Lego things for the back and not make a solid piece, I mean, you could do that. It's up to you. I just went ahead and did a solid one, so no one's going to see it. And you do want to make sure that whatever you do for the back, you go around it in single crochet, just like you did all your blocks. I went around the whole thing. Did the exact same thing I did on these blocks on this big piece. Now I'm going to sew it together. So this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to take my sides, my 4 sides and my 1 bottom piece, and I'm going to set it to the side for now. And then one of these big ones that I'm going to use for the flap, I'll sew it on last. So I'm going to set it to the side too. Oh. Now these pieces, I'm going to sew it together wrong side out using single crochet. So you set it up whatever way you want your colors. I'm going to put a long one on the bottom and then a long one right here. Sorry that the yarn's dark. And then 2 square ones. So this is how this is going to get sewed together. So let me get some yarn. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is sew this together, but I'm going to flip them over because I want to sew them wrong side so the seam does not show like that. So I'm going to start with a slip knot on my hook. And I'm just going to start right down here and I'm going to grab it like this and start in the corner spaces that we made and go ahead and pull your yarn through that slip knot that's on your hook. And that's how we'll start. Okay, and chain 1. Now I'm just going to go along matching the stitches, go through a stitch on this one, a stitch on this one, single crochet. the next stitch on this one, and then the next stitch on this other piece, single crochet. Now if you wanted to do slip stitch, that would be fine too. Either way is gonna work. Trying to hide that tail as I go. I'm going to go ahead and clip that off because it always confuses me. Okay, and I'm coming to the end here. Go ahead and go through the last stitch is the corner stitch. Go through it, and now what I'm going to do is unfold it. I'm going to pick up this one and I'm just going to continue attaching it. So I'm just going to go into the next stitch on my bottom piece, and then the stitch on this, which is going to be the first corner stitch, single crochet, and now I'm just going to do the same thing across, matching up the stitches. Should come out close to being even at the end, pretty close. Looks like maybe this piece might have an extra stitch or something in it, and that's going to happen. So what you do is you just go through the same stitch on here twice and then match up to the next stitch on this one. That'll make it turn out just about even. And yours may not even have an extra stitch. Mine could have been. I could have missed a stitch. I could have stretched it too much. But it's no big deal. It's an easy fix. Okay, I'm coming to the end, going through the corner of each piece, single crochet, and I'm gonna clip off my yarn, and then I'm gonna flip it over. I'm gonna see what it looks like real quick. That looks pretty good. Now I'm just going to take this piece, doing it backwards, and I'm just going to sew it on right here, and then I'll just slip it sideways and sew this on, and then that'll be the front piece will be all sewed on. Okay, I got my big piece sewed up. Still got to hide some tails, but now I'm going to sew the sides and the bottom on, and I'll sew the back on last. So you got the big one just for the bottom. It's going to get sewed down here along this one side, and you're going to have two for each side here, like that. Sew it just like that, and then all the way straight down. And then you'll take your two for the other side. Sew it straight down. So do the two on this side straight down, and then two on this side straight down, and then your bottom piece right straight across. And then we'll work on sewing on the back. I'm just going to sew it the same way, just with single crochet. Okay, I got my big piece all sewed up. I still gotta hide some tails, but that's what I got so far. So this is the front of the backpack. And now we want to sew on the sides and the bottom. So you should have 4 of the side pieces and 1 bottom. So it's going to be kind of like this. 2 on each side. I'm missing a side piece here. Put it however you want it, I guess, but okay. Now, and then you got your big bottom piece, which is going to go down here. Okay, now how we're going to sew the sides on is with single crochet like we've been doing. One thing different I'm going to do with the sides is, let me move everything out of the way. I got these 2 side pieces. I'm going to sew it the sides right side up. It will give it a more defined angle. So I'm going to start right here, right side facing me, and work my way down with single crochet. And then I'm going to do it on the other side with my 2 pieces. And then I'll do it on the bottom with my 1 bottom piece. Single crochet facing me now. And then after that we'll sew these on the other way, but I'll sew my big back piece on last. So I'm just going to start right side facing me now. So put it like this. And I'm just going to sew it the same way we've been doing it. With single crochet. And this time you'll be able to see the seam. And it just makes it, gives it a sharper edge. And you don't necessarily have to do it this way. I mean, you can continue to do it the other way. They'll both work. It's just really what you like the look of. So it's going to give it a more defined edge when you turn it to the side. So I'm going to continue sewing the 2 sides on each of the sides, and then that bottom. Okay, now I'll show you the way we're going to sew the rest of it on. This is what it looks like. I got my sides and my bottom sewed on facing me with single crochet. Now these 2 little spots here, and here on these 2 side pieces, I'm just gonna sew them together single crochet opposite side. That way you won't be able to see the seam, so it'll match this. But I'm gonna flip it around to where the bottom's on top here. So here's my bottom right here, and I want to sew it together right here and right here with single crochet facing me. That way you will see the seam. And then I'm going to take my big back piece after that's all together and sew it on all the way down and all the way around, single crochet facing me. So pretty much when we sew it right side up, we have the seam that we can see, and it makes a ridge on the outside. So pretty much you want that all the way around the outside of the bag. But when I did the inside stitches, I turned them away so the seam was flat, and it'll be right here, it'll be flat too. So I'm going to go ahead and get started sewing my, I'm going to sew these up just like this, bad side facing me, or inside facing me, so you won't see the seam. Same for this side. And then when we'll do this down here where we want to see the seam, so it's just gonna be facing me, single crochet, and then we'll just take our back piece and do the same thing like that, facing me all the way around, the entire back piece, except for you want to leave the top open. Okay, I got my bag all sewed together. I got the back on and everything. The bottoms are seamed up. Okay, I'm going to do a row of half double crochet around the top of the bag. So I'm going to start with a slip knot on my hook, and I'm going to start anywhere at the top. I'm just going to start over here in the corner and go through that slip knot that's on my hook, and I'm going to chain 2, and that's going to count as a half a double crochet. So now I'm just going to go along putting 1 half double in every stitch. And what this is going to be for, it's going to allow me to run a drawstring through. So just keep going across 1 half double, and you just go all the way around the bag until you get back to the beginning. Okay, now what I want to do is attach my flap. So I did that row of double crochet at the top. I know it's hard to see. And then I just slip stitched into the beginning, chain 2, and I tied that off. Now I'm going to take the one I have left that I made for my flap, and I'm going to slip stitch it on the back of the bag facing me. So it's going to go, here's my back, it's the black part, and there's my front. So it's going to flap over like that. So I'm going to slip stitch it on here. I'm not going to single crochet this. Of course you could if you felt like it. I don't think it would really make that big of a difference. I just don't want a big seam on the back of mine. So I'm just going to do it the same way that I did the other ones, only I'm single crochet or slip stitching it on. I think my light bulb burned out, but go ahead and slip stitch this on. I want to fix my light. Okay, I got some kind of problem with my lights here, so I'm just going to show you real quick how to finish it before it blinks off, and I won't be able to show you. Where we did the half double crochet row, I did a chain of 140, and then I just went over, wove it through the top of that half double crochet row, and I made that my drawstring. So that was easy. And I'm gonna this is a chain of 25, and I'll write the directions down on the screen. And then it's a double crochet in the 4th stitch from the hook, and then all the way down 1 double crochet. And I'm just gonna sew it right up here. It's gonna be the little, I left a tail on both ends, and it's the handle. It's really easy, and you just sew it on like this, right up here at the top of this flat part. I'm sorry about this, my lights are messed up, and probably gonna have to buy new ones, so I don't know what's wrong with this big light. It takes big lights to make these tutorials for you to be able to see them, and something's wrong with the ballast I have up here. It's just messing up. So I'm just gonna do it like this, and then this one like that, and that'll be the handle. So real easy. And the straps back here, I'm going to do it the same way that I did this. Really easy. I'm going to do it off camera though here in just a little bit, because I want to get it done before show you how to do it before my lights go out again. You do a chain for as long as you want your straps. I'm probably going to do a chain of about 70. But it depends on if you're using it for a little child or a big person. Just do a strap that will be big enough to go around their shoulder, around their back. Do 2 of them. And once you get your chain long enough, you just double crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook and all the way down the length of your chain. And then the straps, they just get sewed on, just like we did that. 2 straps right up here at the top together, and then right down here at the bottom of each corner. So one here, and then you bring the straps up together. One sew here and sew here. That's how I do it, but you can always sew them anywhere that you want. Here, here, and then back down here and here. And if you just want to put one strap on it too, that's fine. Or if you know another way that you want to do your straps, it's completely up to you. Sorry that I couldn't show, my lights are getting so bad, but I'll put the directions on the screen. And I hope you enjoyed it. I think it turned out really well. I'm going to give it to my son. He's really going to like it. And don't forget to check out all my other tutorials that I have on YouTube. And you can check out my Facebook page and post all your crochet items on there. And until next time, have a good day.